In this movie clip, we'll look at designing stairs for the Documentation 3 project. For the stair design, we'll focus on the New Zealand Building Code clauses D1 access routes and F4 safety from falling. You can download these as PDF documents for free at the Department of Building and Housing website. We'll look at 2 steps for designing stairs for the building. In step 1, we classify the stair using D1 access routes, and in step 2, we confirm the design limitations for our stair based on its classification. Let's start with step 1 and classify the stair using the definition section in D1 access routes. For commercial buildings, we need to provide disabled access, so the accessible stairway is the stair classification for all stairs in our project building. Let's look at New Zealand Building Code D1 access routes. In figure 11, note the position of the pitch line. You'll use this to confirm the height of your handrail a bit later. Note the treads and rises and the maximum stair pitch. Refer to figures 12 and 13 for further requirements for treads and rises for disabled users. Table 6 shows design limits for each stair classification. For an accessible stair, we have a maximum riser height of 180mm and a minimum tread of 310mm. Note how each tread overhangs the one below, creating a slightly reduced tread dimension when viewed in plan. Remember, all your risers must be equal and must not exceed 180mm high for all stair flights on a stairway. Figure 3 shows the maximum height clearance of 2000mm along the stairway. You'll need to ensure you have this minimum height clearance between your stairs. 4.2.1 states a minimum width of 900mm between handrails. Use this as a minimum for your stair width. Sometimes this must be larger based on the fire egress requirements for the building. Note the special requirements for landings in section 4.3. This example shows a minimum clearance required between the opening door and the first tread. Table 7 shows the maximum vertical height required between each landing based on the stair classification. This means a flight of stairs cannot rise more than 2.5 metres without a landing. Ensure your landing length is no less than 900mm as required by 4.3.4. As a general rule, ensure that your landing width is the same as your stair width. Figure 25 shows a good graphical example that combines a number of requirements for your stair. New Zealand Building Code D1 access routes has specific requirements for handrails around the location, the height, profile, position and connection. 6.0.1 requires that all accessible stairways require handrails on both sides. Pay careful note to figure 26 that shows the allowable handrail profiles and connection options. For balustrades, we use New Zealand Building Code clause F4, safety from falling. The minimum barrier heights on Table 1 show the minimum height of a handrail for stairs. Note the All Other Locations option below. This will apply to balustrades in other parts of the building, such as around an atrium or mezzanine floor. Note that in some stairs, a solid wall negates the need for a balustrade. F4 also has other special requirements around the construction of balustrades and barriers. This is particularly critical around the openings in the balustrades. The balustrades must prevent the passing of small objects and the possibility of providing a foothold for children to climb. There are a number of diagrams in this section to help design your balustrade. So, in summary, first classify your stair using New Zealand Building Code D1 access routes. Secondly, design your stair using the design parameters in D1, looking at treads and rises, stair width, landings and handrails. Use NZBC F4 to design your balustrades. Thanks for watching.